Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture, as you can see the topic, we are going to describe some of the applications and services that are available in the area of machine translation. This topic has been divided into two parts. Today, we are going to talk about part 1, as you will see that the part 1 is based on a certain category. The lecture has been divided into four major portions or points. We will start with raising certain questions about the applications and the competence of these applications and so on, and then a quickly scan of machine translation quality based on Google statistics, and number three, kinds of applications, that is the main topic of this lecture. And here we have two major kinds. Number one is B2B and number two is consumer use. Number four, of course, we will talk about the kinds of the machine translation industry for business use, that is B2B, here in part one, and that means it is part one. In part two, we shall be discussing the apps that are related to the consumers. This is an important thing that should be kept in our mind, and that is this lecture is accompanied by certain videos related to various kinds that we have discussed of B2B machine translation applications. There are three major questions that we should ask ourselves, or should be asked in the area. What is currently possible with today's machine translation technology? And the question actually is pertaining to the application side. What kinds of translation applications can be used in various contexts? The contexts are different. The personal individual usage and the usage in the industry, and the whole spectrum of from the very much personal requirements to the very much complicated industry. Based on the recent progress, what seems to be the most promised use cases of machine translation for both for B2B and for consumer today? So, keeping these questions in our mind, we can proceed further, and we see what examples we have in these two lectures, in these two parts, and today is part one. Let's quickly scan the MT quality, that is the statistics of Google statistics, very interesting one. We see the scale from 0 to 6. 0 is is a nonsense translation, and 6, which is the perfect translation. And in between these numbers, we have phrase based machine translation, statistical machine translation, and then the neural general neural machine translation, GNMT. And we see the improvement here, and then the human translation, of course, is superior to all the machine translation developments. The second point that should be kept in mind, according to Google statistics, the English Spanish translation perhaps stands at the top, followed by English French, and after that Spanish English, and so on. So the point here in these statistics is that we have a quick picture of what kind of developments have taken place so far in the area of machine translation services and applications, and the impact of different approaches that are used in machine translation. Especially the focus here is on neural machine translation or general neural machine translation, and of course the human translation supersedes all these methods. There are two major kinds of the applications that are available. The first are called machine translation industry for business usage, that is B2B, and the second kind is called online app machine translation for consumer use. In this lecture, of course, we shall be confining our discussion to machine translation industry for B2B. But what is that B2B machine translation used in industry and business is it is for small, medium and large enterprises such as the government, military, defense, healthcare, finance, legal, and so on and so forth. Multi-domain translation services possibly available, and sometimes some companies they provide specific domains translation services, and these services or this B2B applications they depend on human translators as well for pre and post editing processes. Why the involvement of human translation or translator is necessary in such cases? This is the matter of quality, that is the main concern, because the companies they pay huge money to these companies, those who prepare and provide translation services. So they hire services of the human translation in pre and post editing process as well to deliver a quality product or quality services to their clients. As for the second type, which is the online app machine translations for consumer use, we need to have a quick introduction of this. Is instant translations for textual, audio and image files, and used of course for individual consumers, as the name itself or the category itself suggests. They are generic, non-domain specific, mostly, usually, and they are lightweight. There are few rules have been, inculcated in such apps. They are cloud-based apps, remote service connectivity. They are wearable. There are devices that can be weird, that can be carried with the, and crowdsourced data also input by many users and many people. The modes usually that are used for this type is online app machine translation for consumer use as text to text translation, text to speech translation, and speech to text translation, and speech to speech translation, and image of words to text translation. So these are the modes that are, all these modes are used for the online app machine translation for consumer use. The first kind, that is the machine translation industry for business use, that is B2B, has two subcategories. Number one is multi-domain, as we have seen during its definition, that it is either multi-domain or specialized. So multi-domain B2B MT services, and number two is specialized B2B MT services. So we, in this lecture, we take some major examples in these two subcategories. Multi-domain B2B machine translation services. Here we can talk about Kenton MT. Kenton MT is Dublin-based machine translation services, offers a SaaS, SaaS-based, which is software as a service, licensed on a subscription basis and is centrally hosted. It enables users to develop and manage custom machine translation engines in the cloud, as we have seen the cloud source is there. 8 domains like retail, government, travel, and so on. So this Canton MT provides services in 8 different areas, and they provide services in 760 language combinations. Let's watch the video, which is video number 1, which introduces Canton MT with its, of course, different services, and also explains some procedures also. While we watch this video, we shall not be very much concerned about the procedures to use this Canton MT, as much as we are more concerned to know what services they are providing and how.
This video will give you an overview of the CantonMT platform. Once you log into the platform, you will find the client profile page where you can manage your ContentMT engines. On the dashboard, you can find a list with the engines you have created for the different language combinations. The active profile will be marked in bold, and its scores will always be displayed on the right side of the screen. These are F-measure, blue, TER score, disk usage, and word counts. On the central dashboard, you can manage all your ContentMT engines and launch training and translation jobs. After selecting a profile, you can move through the different tabs to add training data, upload and translate client files, or create templates. On the lower part of the page, you will always find Content Insights. These are instructions depending on the section you are in at that moment. They will show you how to deal with the tool and improve your tasks.
In order to customize and deploy your machine translation engines, you need to add different sets of training data and terminology data. The best source of this type of data is your translation memory. Primary focus should be on the quality of the training data rather than on the quantity, and particular attention should be paid to the domain of the training data, ensuring that it matches the expertise required by the engine and the client. You can also use monolingual data to improve the fluency and accuracy of the translation output. Select your client profile from the dashboard, go to the Training Data tab. Drag and drop the bilingual files and monolingual files. For more information on files and formats, please see Content Insights at the bottom of the page. Once uploaded, click Build to create the engine with these files. You can check the status in My Jobs. When this task is completed, check the engine scores. If you encounter any problems or need help, contact us at support@contentmt.com.
Okay, now we can move to the second company, that is Sistron Enterprise, and it provides 5 domains or services in the area of 5 industries, and they provide their services in 3 modes of translation. Number 1 is full plain text translation, then file translation, that is the PowerPoint file, Excel, Word, etc., PDF, without altering their format. So if file is provided in PDF and the client gets the translation in PDF with the same format. Web translation services, and that is the translates entire web pages. For more information or for more orientation about the Sistron Enterprise, we watch this video number 2 here, and then of course we can also have our own queries and questions, and we can jot down all these queries and questions for our discussion during our session. So let's watch the video. The Now we can move to the second subcategory of this B2B machine translation services, which is specialized. These companies, they do not provide services in multi-domain, they provide services specialized area. So number one is STL government, and the company primarily serves the US government, focusing on defense. And what they work on the social feed in Russian or Arabic into English. So they collect the social feed in Russian and Arabic languages, and of course they provide then the translation services into English of these social feed. And the purpose is to provide information or actionable insights to the government on whether the individual who posted the feed could potentially pose a national threat or not. So here in this video we have a very brief interview of the CEO of this company, SDL Government, where he is explaining the company's services and different details. Same way, we watch this video, and of course we can of course learn more about this SDL government, but at the same time we can have our own queries and questions how this SDL government works, and what are the other allied services that they provide to the US government. The second example of the specialized B2B multi-services, Canopy Innovations, and their specialized area is healthcare. So they have this application which is called Canopy Speak app, which is a medical translation app, and they provide services in 15 languages, and it runs on a phrase library. The largest, that what they claim that it is the largest corpus of pre-translated medical phrases, that what company claims. And again, another claim of the company is that organized by medical specialities in different specialities, minute specialized specialities of the area of medicine. So they have divided this Speak app, Canopy Speak app, on these minute specialities. And we have video number 4, which explains and describes this Canopy Speak app with its different aspects and usage. And we watch this video carefully, and same way, followed by our own discussion and question.
This overview video will outline how you can use the Canopy Medical Translator app to communicate with your limited English proficiency patients. When you open the app, you can navigate by specialty. Let's say I'm a doctor in emergency medicine with a Spanish-speaking patient who's in pain. I can navigate through clinically organized categories to ask the patient where they feel the pain.
¿Tiene dolor de pecho?
I can tap the phrase multiple times to play it out loud.
¿Tiene dolor de pecho?
I can also rotate my device horizontally and show the translated text on the whole screen.
¿Tiene dolor de pecho?
This is particularly useful if my patient is hard of hearing or if I'm in a noisy environment. I can also easily find the content I'm looking for by typing a keyword into the search bar at the top.
¿Tiene náuseas?
The search function will look through and pull all relevant content in the app across all specialties. Aside from being able to collect basic, critical information using the yes or no questions in the app, there are a plethora of instructional phrases you can play to give your patient clarity and peace of mind during procedures and other stages of an encounter.
Me gustaría colocar un monitor de presión dentro, junto al bebé, para asegurar que sus contracciones son lo suficientemente fuertes.
Switching between all 15 languages is as easy as 2 taps. Just tap the language button at the top of the screen and tap on the language you need to work in.
请把您的膝盖抬起来，并且把您的脚后跟合并。
What if your patient is asking you something in reply and you don't understand what they're saying? You have a built-in patient response system available for common patient questions and answers. And, at any point, for more complicated or nuanced conversations, You can call your facility's phone-based language interpreters directly from the app. Just tap the Call Interpreter phone button at the bottom right and easily connect with a live interpreter to help you communicate with your patient. Thanks for taking a few minutes to familiarize yourself with the Canopy Medical Translator app. Please feel free to contact us at company@canopyapps.com with any questions or feedback on your app experience.
The third example of the specialized B2B machine translation services, which is going to be the last one here in this lecture, part 1, that is lingua custodia, and the specialized area is finance. So what they provide, the financial documents like fund fact sheets, portfolio management commentaries, and customizable tool for, of course, for the client to adjust their needs and their requirements. And here we have video number 5, and with this, of course, video number 5, we can end this lecture, of course, but we watch this video very carefully and try to understand the dimensions of this specialized area and the services that are provided by in general the companies that are working in this area, and especially this lingua custodia finance. So let's watch the video, followed by again points for our discussion that should be noted for our session, inshallah.
This video is for the introduction of Verto, a customized machine translation tool specialized in finance and developed by Lingua Custodia. This demonstration shows you how to proceed in translating a KID, Key Investor Information document. In this case, this 2-page French document is in PDF format, and you would like to translate it into English. Simply connect to Lingua Custodia's simple web interface, which is on HTTPS. See the green symbol at the top left? It means that it is as secure as an online payment. According to your user ID and password, the solution will direct you to your specific linguistic databases and specifically to your customized machine translation engines. In this case, we'll connect to a machine translation engine dedicated only to the translation of a key investor information document. On the user interface, there are only 4 easy steps to take. Download your document to translate, select the source language, the target language, and press Translate. The user can have access to all the translations he's translated previously with the tool. During the translation process, the solution will first check if similar sentences have already been translated and recorded in the linguistic databases before using the customized machine translation engine. The document is then reformatted. The solution is able to read 30 different formats, provides a result in the original format, with the exception of PDF documents, which are provided in a Word format so that they can be edited. Here is the translated document. We now have a KID in English. This document should be, however, proofread by the user. It will then be possible to integrate those corrections so that the tool will use them for the next translations. For more information about Verto, please contact the Lingua Custodia sales team via www.linguacustodia.finance contact page.
Okay, dear students, with this we end this lecture ends here, and we shall come back to the same topic with part 2, and that is the applications, online applications or applications for consumer use. Take very good care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.